technically quote unquote become like millionaire. Like again, it's possible. Like I'm not saying it's impossible, but what are the chances of getting the lottery? If I'm wrong, I will lose this much money. If I'm right, I will lose. Sorry, I will win three times what I'm gonna lose. I lost quite a bit of money and won. Right now, like I'm winning kinda, but yeah, it's like above seven figure technically. Like in BD, like investing is a skill issue in 2024.
What are your thoughts on trading bots, or there are separate plugins for MT4 or MT5 that provide you with
Mhm.
signals and stuff?
So, if we asked you, what are the three golden rules for you if you are trading? When you trade, what are the three golden rules that you follow?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's podcast. We have got an exciting session lined up, diving into the world of stocks, cryptos, and investing. But before we start, let me quickly outline how today's podcast will flow. First, I will ask our guest, Hadron, a series of questions to uncover valuable insights. Once my questions are done, you will have the opportunity to ask your own, either by voice or text. I will read out loud for Hadron to answer. So let's get started. Hadron, would you kick things off with a brief introduction about yourself? Then I will
All
dive into our discussion.
Okay, so all right, hi everybody. Today is Friday night, so like special night for like Bangladesh because like vacation day and stuff. So yeah, I'm Hadron. Like I mean, most people know me by Hadron, like in the on the internet, and like I have graduated in geology, and like I am currently working at an NGO as an analyst, GIS analyst, and that's my background for now. And especially like when it comes to today's topic, like I have been quote unquote trading for the past 4 years almost, and that's how I have been going around. And like I have like a little bit preliminary idea of how to navigate like from Bangladesh because like there are like loops and holes and stuff. So yeah, today I will be addressing those stuff. Yeah, prisoner. Continue.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yes. Wait, how long have you been doing the day trading part?
Like almost like I could stretch it out for 4 years. Like seriously for 2 years and but 4 years.
Oh, so so during COVID, right? You started during COVID.
Yeah, COVID. COVID was
Eh,
basically the craze of retail trading. Like everybody and their grandmother started to hear about trading and this whole thing called trading, retail trading. Like basically like from the US, like there is a app called Robinhood, which basically democratize this kind of like gambling uh, tendency. Like I would say gambling is trading technically, but yeah. So especially because like undercapitalization is a huge problem. So like for example, for an investment to be fruitful and worth it, like you need huge amount of capital because the percentage point of like huge companies or stocks does not move that much. So like for it to be worth your time and effort and money, you need huge amount of capital. So that's why like the trading is basically like short term investment, like you bet on something like in the short term. But yeah, that's the idea.
I see. I see. Um, During our previous conversation, you have mentioned you buy foreign stocks like Intel and Nvidia, right?
Yes.
So, it's a possible as a Bengali who was born in Bengali to invest in foreign stocks, right? Because as most of the people knows, the stock market of Bangladesh is very how could I say, is very not profitable, right? So, in my what's your opinion like between Bangladesh's stock market and foreign stock market? Which would you prefer?
I mean, for Bangladeshi beginners, it's really complicated to say. Like Bangladeshi stock market has been like volatile and not profitable for small term investors for a while now, especially after 2020. Like all of the index around the world has been in a bull run, but Bangladesh didn't follow through. So like that could be, like this basically shows like economic underlying situation, and it's not that great. So in this context, like your question, like so you wanted to ask like how can a Bangladeshi small time investor invest in like foreign stocks, like let's say. Nvidia, the hottest stock.
Yeah, that was my second question. Yes, yes.
Yeah, Nvidia, Tesla, or Intel,
Yeah,
AMD.
the good ones, the good Apple and Google, those stocks.
So basically, yeah, this question can be addressed in a way. Like one problem Bangladeshi people face is like the dollar problem. What happens is like Bangladesh bank has a embargo. Like you cannot buy dollar freely in Bangladesh. You need special permission, and you have a cap for, especially for normal people. There is a 12,000 cap on their passport. Like they cannot spend it more, like otherwise you need special permission. So like for people like us or like normal people, like it's not even worth going through the trouble. So there are ways to do it. Like there is a thing called CFD, contract for difference, which is a way of basically like it tracks. Let's say Apple is a stock, like which has a valuation of $3 trillion. Like so, like other countries, like especially third world countries and like European countries, has devised a special instrument which is called CFD, contract for difference. It basically tracks the same thing. Like there is a Apple CFD, which is technically tracks not Apple, but it mimics the price of Apple. So you can invest there and you know gain the percentage point of Apple. There are brokers, like you need to understand the broker. Broker is really important. Like for example, like when you are starting out, you will hear the name broker. Broker is basically the middleman. Like they will, they will basically direct you how to or where to invest. So there are very famous broker, for example, Interactive Broker, TD Ameritrade. Those are international huge brokers, and there are others. Those are like stock broker, like for international investor. But for example, like Robinhood. Robinhood is only for the US investor or like the UK, and they are like trading 212 for the UK and for the international investor. For example, we could actually invest via uh, Interactive Brokers and TD Ameritrade. I will address it later. But first, the CFD part. Trading 212 and yeah, so we have people coming here. Okay, Trading 212 and XTB Pepperstone. Those are the brokers, like Bangladeshi people can invest directly or indirectly into like big huge stocks. So like the deposit, like the hardest part of investing from Bangladesh is depositing money. So I guess like couple of months ago, I think it around 6 months ago, you guys probably heard about the MTFE debacle. Like lots of people, Bangladeshi people, has lost money from MTFE and stuff. So what happened there was Binance. You guys definitely heard about Binance. Binance is a crypto exchange. So Binance, there is a thing called P2P, peer-to-peer. What you can do is there are options like Bcash and Nogod and Bank and like lots of other payment options. What they do, like you can exchange your TAKA in the peer-to-peer network for a crypto. Like USDT is the most famous stablecoin one. Like people buy USDT, and that USDT is technically US dollar for everybody, for Bangladeshi people. Then they can buy crypto via that USDT. Like there is a thing called wallet. Like your wallet is like the bank account equivalent for crypto. So like the USDT you buy will be stored in a wallet, and it's in the Binance exchange, and you can convert it to Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, Doge, Shiba Inu. So there are lots of exchanges: Binance, OKX, Bybit. Those are the like famous one I can remember from the top of my head, and like that's the USDT. So some broker, for example, Pepperstone is a broker. Pepperstone can allow you to buy, like as I said, like CFD, Apple, Tesla, Google, Microsoft. So Pepperstone will allow you to buy, like deposit money to buy those kind of stocks via USDT from Binance. So technically, that's how you can do it. And there's another way. Like that's not truly investing. That's what I call like CFD investing, which I don't recommend. Like I don't recommend. Like if you're under capitalist, like I'm just saying, like caution. Like most people lose money in like investment and trading. So barely some people actually make money. So yeah, like there is another option. It's called like Interactive Broker. Interactive Broker is the actual legit broker in the world, like in the huge broker, the largest broker in the world. So there is a thing called WH band. Like if you want to invest in the like US stock market, like you have to obviously pay taxes. So there is a form called W8 band. You go through the paperwork in like interactive broker. Like I guess like if you are like I don't have to explain the paperwork, so you know what you have to do. And there is a thing called W8 band. Like that's a tax form for people, international people, investing in the US market. So you fill up that. Also, you need the ETN account. Like the thing is like very careful. Like you have to file your taxes every year in ETN account. Like if you're unemployed, you can file zero return on like the website. There's a website called e-return nowadays. Like it's really easy. You don't have to go to the tax office for that. So so yeah, so you have to have a ETN account, and you have to put that ETN account number in the W8 band, and you will put 0%. And there is a payment method called like Wise account. Like if you're into freelancing, you definitely heard of the Wise. And there are people in Bangladesh, like again peer to peer. Like you can convert your BDT to dollar in Wise account and deposit like directly in interactive broker. That's how technically you can invest in interactive broker. And yeah, there are lots of it. That's the basic idea.
So you have put two processes, right? First process, I will recap it for everyone. First process was um, you open a Binance account, and by Binance peer-to-peer, you buy USDT. So you pay a DHAKA to someone with Bcash, and they send you USDT, right? Which is a crypto. And via USDT, you can purchase stocks in Paperstone website.
Yeah,
or broker.
like
Paperstone is a broker, right?
Yeah. So like broker is an important like term for you. Like there are thousands of brokers. You have to choose what you like the most. So like again, I will recap it. So you go to like Binance Bybit, you convert your like BDT into USDT or like any other cryptocurrency P2P, and then the USDT is the thing. Like so if anybody want to invest in crypto, they can exchange their USDT into like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP. So that's another part. And like your USDT or like crypto will be in a wallet in the exchange. So that wallet, like there are lots of things in between. Like we cannot address it in just a short period. So yeah, that's the like basic idea. And like that wallet also, like there are brokers called like CFD brokers. Again, like I have to reiterate, CFD broker like Pepperstone XTB Trading 212. And like you have to see like whether they accept Binance as a deposit method or not. Like again, there is a caveat to that. Like lots of CFD broker don't actually accept Binance. So from my understanding, probably uh, trading plus trading to not Pepperstone and XTB actually they are huge CFD broker. They Forex CFD. Forex is a term like Forex means like currency trading. So they accept Binance or like any crypto deposit,
I see.
and then like you will figure out yourself. So that's the other
One
one.
question.
And,
Before we proceed to the second process, I have one question. Does Paperstone and XTB, that's yeah. So do they require KYC? Like, do they require like verification of identity
Yeah, of
via
course.
passport or?
Yeah, like every broker, every legitimate broker requires you to do KYC. And for example, like my second thing, like the actual investment in like the US stock market, uh, you actually need lots of like paperwork. For example, ETN account and passport, smart NID card, and like these kind of paperworks for the W8 ban and interactive broker account. So you need KYC regardless because you have to pay taxes. Like if you are actually trying to invest in actual market, actual broker. So the Binance and the crypto thing, it's like a shady thing somewhat. Like I don't want to use that word, but yeah, like you could bypass it somehow, but you cannot invest in actual stuff. Like in crypto trading, you can technically trade or like invest anonymously, but yeah.
Yeah, I see. So you recommend using the second option, right? Via W8 band.
W8 like interactive broker. W8 band is a form just for like tax file. like 0%. Like you have to pay taxes when like your dollar comes from USA to Bangladesh. Like then you have to file your taxes in the e-return website, like as I mentioned before.
Yeah, okay, I see. So yeah, okay, I guess it makes sense. So moving on. Yeah, I have heard people in stock market, especially in trading, saying like don't put your eggs on the same basket. So I think it's referring to like don't invest all your money into like one stock like Intel or Nvidia or Apple. Like what it's saying is putting your money in different stocks. So like dividing into each company, right? Is this what you're recommending? Um, and I have also heard one thing like S&P 500, I think, where you just put your money in the S&P 500 and they divide your money and invest into different stocks. Like
Mhm.
500 companies, right?
Okay. Lot thing to unpack here. So basically, what is stock? Like in the terms of like stock, we are talking about there are lots of sectors. Like what stock is, like creating value. Like for example, publicly traded company. There are like for example, Apple is a stock, or like Bank of America is a stock, or Chevron is a stock. Like but these three companies has like completely different like business areas. So what like S&P 500, Nasdaq index, or like Dow Jones Industrial 30,
Yeah,
and for
yeah.
example even Dhaka Stock Exchange DSE, or like Nifty 50 of India, or Germany DAX index. So what they do, like they take different kinds of like S&P 500, like Standard & Poor's 500, like it has like 500 publicly traded company for the US stock market. What they do, like they pull together different types of sectors, like banking sector, JP Morgan, Bank of America, tech sector, Apple, Microsoft, Google, Nvidia, Tesla, energy sector, Chevron, Shell, Standard Oil, then like health sector, Eli Lilly, Johnson and Johnson. So yeah.
I see. So if I invest into that index, then it will be divided. So there is a low chance of getting lost from that stock, right?
So what they're saying is like the term is really misconstrued. That what they're saying is don't put your eggs in one basket. Like don't choose like the wrong stock, or that's like if you manage to choose, let's say Netflix has like 10,000% return since inception, so that's a good thing. But for example, like if you choose a shitty company, for example, what can I give as an example? GameStop, like GMA, like in recent years, it's a like retail, like US retail gaming shop. So like if you go all in, like you don't have gained anything. For example, Intel is a very bad stock for the past 20 years. So like so if you invest $1,000 back in 2001, you would have actually lost money, because like Intel has been, so that's the idea comes from. But let's just send you invest in S&P 500. So for the past 20 years, tech sector has been the best like things to invest, but banking sector has been like very bad, or like some banking sectors, like some tech sectors. So what they do is like they weigh out losers to winners. So for example, Tesla is a winner, Nvidia is a winner, but Intel is a loser. Like S&P 500 does like all of the overperforming companies and all of the underperforming companies aggregate together. And what they do, like most of the time, like overperforming companies compensate for the underperformance companies, right? So what plus
Okay,
minus
makes
plus minus.
sense.
So that's the idea. So over time, what happens? Let's say like there isn't a World War III, or like the world we didn't go extinct by a alien invasion or something like that. Like if everything goes right, stock tends to go up. Like there's a huge, like there is, for example, like 2008 financial crisis or the 1929 depression. Those are called black swan event. Those are one in a million, one in a billion events. So like, we have to like forget about those. Like if you are a doomer, so we don't think about those. But yeah, on a normal thing, like overperforming companies will compensate for the underperforming companies. So let's say like 10%, like Nvidia went up by 10%, but like Intel went down by 5%. If the market capitalization like 1 trillion, so the total aggregate will be 5%. So it's
Right.
compensating for the, yeah. So that's the basic idea. Like I'm obviously oversimplifying it. So that's why they say like don't put your eggs in one basket. But like if you are a great investment picker or something, like if you're Warren Buffett, or like there are lots of investment, like they manage to choose the right stocks in the right time, so which is really hard. Like for most people they lose money, even like Wall Street bankers, they lose money like, because like they choose the wrong thing. And yeah, so that's the idea.
Yeah, I see. I see. Um, yeah, I guess like so you see in the recent news there is a lot of war going on. So is the market going down for the past few months, or is it stable, or what's the market at the moment?
Can you repeat that question? I didn't understand the thing.
You mentioned when there is no conflict in the world, so the stock market doesn't go down unless there is any conflict, like world wars or stuff, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So recently, you see in news there is lot of war and stuff going on. So does the war affected the stock market?
So it depends. For example, like if there is a conflict between Dhaka College and City College, the stock market won't go down. So it's like what type of conflict are we talking about? Like if we're talking about like huge, big conflict. Like conflict is basically they bomb each other a small part. Like for example, what happening? Like I don't want to go into geopolitics, but that's the idea. Like Russia-Ukraine war, like lots of companies. For example, Boeing is technically a military company, military defense, and like Lockheed Martin, these are huge companies. These technically profit off from war. Like what they, when they say like the military industrial complex, they want the war of Russia, Ukraine, and the Israel Palestine to go on. What they are saying is like these companies, they can sell like weapons to like different countries.
Mm.
So these are huge market capitalization. So like during war, this kind of stocks tends to go up. So like also like there is a thing called pricing in. Like this war, like the Russia-Ukraine war, has been going on for almost like 3 years now. Like I think in 2025 it's going to be 3 years. So like that, like the what stock market did, like it priced in. They are saying like there is not much damage. The sanction didn't work that much. So what the market will do, like it's not hampering the sale of Nvidia graphics card, it's not hampering the sale of AI, right? So like why would the stock market care for that? Like it's not doing anything in the world. So technically that's why like the stock market like goes up in times of conflict. Like even in 2020, like for example, like if you guys, like especially in 2020 is a different time. So when 2020 like February, the stock market crashed like 30-40%, insane. It's like it never happened. Like the last time it happened in back in 1987. And yeah, so but what happened was like retail companies, like everybody was inside. So retail companies or like hotel management companies or airlines, they was basically went to shit. But tech companies like Zoom, like if you guys remember the video conference company, went up like by 1000%, because like everybody was using it. And like all of the tech companies, software companies had the best time like ever, like Netflix or gaming companies like Activision Blizzard, like huge, like the largest gaming company in the world, like Microsoft, Xbox. So like they compensated for the loss of like the retail companies or the aircraft companies, those kind of stuff. So that's how technically it gets. Also, there is a thing called interest rate. Back in 2020, interest rate, every country around the world slashed interest to 0%. So borrowing became very cheaper. So like you can borrow
Mm.
almost like free without paying any interest to the bank. So that's why like when interest rates are low, technically right now it's interest rates are not low. Like inflation tends to go up during like low interest rate, because like everybody keeps spending. Like you don't have to pay or sorry or like huge interest rate on your loan. So that's the idea, right? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, makes sense. Makes sense.
Mm.
Moving on to our next question. Uh, people usually, even they know the stock market in Bangladesh is very volatile and most likely they will uh, get loss out of it, even if they invest. But they still want to know the process of investing in Dhaka stocks. Like,
Okay.
what would you like say about that? What's the
Okay. Like
process like, and would you recommend?
obviously you need a broker house. Like for example, in Bangladesh, the most famous broker house is Lonka Bangla, and the second most broker house is Break APL and MTB Securities and Bank Asia. I wouldn't recommend going outside of it because most of the Bangladeshi broker are like scam. Like they just take your money. So like even if you have to pay a little bit more commission, for example, Lonka Bangla is my favorite. Like Break EPL is amazing. So you need to, like what paperwork here? You need a ETN account, you need a bank account, obviously you need like money, like whatever the money you have, and open an account you need a nominee, like for example your parents, you need a nominee, you need a ETN account, and like it's pretty straightforward. You just open an account, deposit money from bank in the broker house like bank APL or MTB Securities or what, like Lonka Bangla, yeah. So and then you start like investing stock. For example, I can give you an example. There is a stock called Khan Brothers PP, like the ticker symbol. Like the thing is, like they, like obviously they are not going to say Khan Brothers woven factories. Like they are going to shorten it. Like ticker symbol is the shortened form that's like posted on exchange. So for example, Apple ticker symbol is AAPL, Apple. So like very short. So there is a ticker symbol called KBPWBII. That's the highest performing stock, like from what I have seen in Bangladesh stock market. So you can invest there. Like there are lots of, like I'm not saying, I'm just giving an example. Obviously, don't invest anywhere. But yeah, there are lots of like Grameenphone, PP, Robi,
Yeah, but what
and
about iFirm?
what?
What about iFirm? I have heard that they are giving profit, I think. I'm not sure, but I have heard stuff like iFirm is profitable in Bangladesh stock market like Grameenphone or
Like I'm not sure whether iFarmer is a publicly traded company or not. Like if they are like a uh, but if they are like a like smallly held, like they are venture capitalists, so technically they are a privately held company. Like if they go IPO, like which I'm hearing,
I
like
see. Hmm.
IPO is basically the process of initial public offering, process of like going public. So like normal people can invest there. So like you cannot invest in private. Like you and I, we are not that rich or we are not at that level to invest in like venture capital and stuff. We can just invest in like what everybody like on the exchange. So that's iFarmer is a venture capital, so that's a different story. So
Okay, okay. Yeah, okay, makes sense. It's not a public company. Yeah, okay.
so yeah, so that's
Yeah,
how you can technically invest in Bangladesh stock market. And Bangladesh stock market, like it's really easy. Like there is nothing else. Like there is no margin investing or like margin trading. There is a thing called margin trading, which every retail trader should know. Like that's why people trade in the first place. Like you borrow money from the broker to trade in. So like there is a huge risk associated with it. So like in Bangladesh stock market, there is not no such thing as margin investing or like margin trading. Like for example, in India, there is a broker called Zerodha. Like Indian street bets is a like huge subreddit. So what they do, like they again, like I'm going, I digress, but there is a thing called option. Okay, can you give me 10 seconds?
yeah, no problem.
Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, Zerodha. Zerodha is a Indian broker. What they like, there is a thing. The index is Nifty 50. Like they have a derivative thing, like which is called option. Like I think you guys have heard about it. Like option is one of the worst type of trading. Like it can make you rich and it can make you like go homeless. So most people go homeless most of the time, like if they pursue option trading. But yeah, so moving on. So what they do is like that option trading gives you a leverage. For example, like each option contract has around 100 shares of whatever options is representing. For example, Reliance or like Tata Motors, they have let's say you buy a one option contract, but like for one option contract it cost around you like 10,000 rupees. But for Tata Motors, like if you were to buy 100 shares of Tata Motors, it will cost you like 100,000 rupees, like on the market. But it's costing you only like 10,000 rupees. So 1:10 is the leverage, or 10% is the margin. Like you have to just put up 10% to give exposure, to get the exposure of like the total amount, right? So that's the idea of like leverage, or option is a type of like leverage trading. And
Okay.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. What
Uh,
about like stocks in of Bangladesh in future? Like after the change, what do you think? Is it going to shine in future?
That's anybody's guess. Like nobody can tell what's gonna happen. Like who would have thought that? Like the, I don't want to go political, but like never in a million years, nobody would have thought like the previous government would have collapsed. So who knows? Bangladesh could become utopia, or Bangladesh could become dystopia. So like there is, like I cannot say the future. Like if I were to say the future, like yeah, but from the looks of it, Bangladesh's stock market is not recovering anytime soon. Like even like it's hurting a bit. Like for example, Bangladesh's like the largest industry is textile industry, and we are basically getting undercut by our competitive countries like India, Vietnam, Philippines. Like they are much cheaper, like Nepal, they are much cheaper and much safer. So obviously like outside businessmen, investor, they want to look for stability, whether it's under a brutal dictatorship, they want stability. So Bangladesh is not stable right now. So it could be, like who knows, but like I don't know, like seriously skeptical about Bangladesh's like investment scene.
Yeah, yeah, true. Makes. I think it's too early to say. I think it's too early to say if the stock will go up or down. Yeah. As you mentioned in the beginning, you were a day trader. I forgot to ask, what is a day trader?
It's like the difference between like an investor, like day trader, like day trader has a huge, like like it's kind of a educated way to say you're a gambler. So like obviously there is nuance to that, like there is obviously nuance to that, but technically it is. So what day trading is, like if you don't have money, what are you supposed to do? Like if you have like 50% return on a 10,000 taka note, which is like 15,000 taka, like 5,000 taka return, like it's not worth it. Like you cannot make like actual amount of money from that. So what they do is, like again, as I said, mentioned leverage trading, or like the margin trading. So there are types of market: forex market, which is like Euro USD, USD BDT, and GBP USD, gold, silver. Like those are like the forex market. And like futures market. Futures market, like very important. Like futures market is huge. Futures market like E-mini S&P 500. Like they basically is a contract to an underlying index. So S&P 500 futures contract is E-mini S&P 500, or like what's the Nasdaq future contract is E-mini Nasdaq. So these are what basic idea is: futures is a contract for a something. Like you could bet on the future price of, let's say, corn, sugar, S&P 500, gold, oil. So these are also there is a huge market of commodities. Like you could trade oil, gas, natural gas, and corn, sugar, those kinds of stuff. You can like invest on cows, cattle. So there are, that's called commodities market. There is crypto market, obviously Bitcoin, Litecoin, Dogecoin, Shiba Inu, Pepe. Those are crypto market. And obviously stock market. And yeah, these are the stuff. And there are other ways to invest even in those market. Those are called derivative trading. As I said, like option is a type of derivative, and because it derived from something. Like derivative, like what means like derived from something. Options, futures derived from something price, like on the future. And a CFD is a type of derivative, as I mentioned in the first beginning of the CFD, contract for difference. You're like, it's a tracker of Apple. So Apple CFD is a derivative, Apple is a stock, but they are going to be the same price. But like I wouldn't recommend actually investing in CFDs. Obviously, it's going to be technical investing, but like the cost is too high. So people trade on CFD, especially outside of the US. In the US, it's banned to trade CFD because like it's the worst type of trading. But I trade that, but yeah.
You love risk. That's why you do.
Yeah,
A
like
risk
obviously, like
taker.
yeah, as I said, like trading, like nobody should ever trade. Like if you want to remain sane and like don't want to commit financial suicide, like don't ever trade. I know like it's that you will see like there's a thing called survivorship bias. You will see one person make like $1 million, like but you won't see like all the 9,999 people who lost everything into trading. Like trading can be very like destructive and detrimental. Like you could like technically quote unquote become like millionaire. Like again, it's possible. Like I'm not saying it's impossible, but what are the chances of getting the lottery? What are the chances of like getting struck by lightning? Those kind of probabilities. So you'd rather like stick to normal investing with like small amount of money than huge like spike in volatility in your net worth. So what they do like in like modern times, obviously everybody is trading, so nobody like gonna they are gonna like eventually get punished. Like everybody get punished if they are trading. So some people, most people, like they give up, and that's the best thing to do, and some people just keep trying and get into ruin. It's possible. Again, I'm saying like trading is basically what like you are trying to predict something in the short term. Like let's say like what I do is like I predict, let's say, what's the exchange rate of euro USD, like euro and US dollar currency exchange rate going to be in like today, like by the end of today, or like a couple of hours. So like I put a small amount of bet. Like if I'm wrong, I will lose this much money. If I'm right, I will win three times what I'm gonna lose. So over time, like there is like it's called technical analysis. Like it's a different word, but like I don't recommend anybody to trade, but people still trade. But it's possible. But like for example, in options there are types of options like call option, put option, um, uh, call credit spread, bull credit spread. Those are like very complicated stuff, but like it's possible. So that's what I'm saying. Like when I say I'm trading.
I see. I see. You trade like, or what I've understood is like you put your money in the beginning of the day, and you pull out, you get the profit or loss at the end of the day, right?
Kind of
Um,
technical. Mhm.
yeah. So what about if I want to buy an Intel stock and I want to get the profit or loss like in 2 years for long time trading? What would you say? Is it
Mm,
still that risky?
like technically, like again, like I cannot say like say like how possible like any investment. Like you're just like putting words in my mouth saying Intel. Like it could be any stock. Like it could be, let's say, AMD,
Hmm.
or one of my favorite thing, like because I play games all the time, Nvidia, and AMD because I use their CPU. So what is it like? If you want to invest, let's say like the price of AMD is $122. For some reason, like the AMD CEO Lisa Su, like if anybody games, they definitely heard of Lisa Su. Like she got fired, or like the AMD company couldn't make like great graphics card or like CPU. So what will happen? The price will just wobble or like consolidate, or the price won't change, or price will go down. You're very unlucky during that time. Like you're kind of right, but you could be very unlucky in that time and you'll lose money. And when you're saying like you want to invest, for example, there is margin investing. Like what I say, margin trading, like leverage, like 1:10. So you will put up 10% of the total capital. You have, let's say, $100. You want to buy like 10 shares of AMD, which is, let's say, one share is $100. You want to buy 10 shares, which is $1,000, and you have a $100. So what you will do margin trading. So there is a thing called leverage. They will give you like the $1,000, your broker, whatever broker you're using, they'll give you like the rest $900. So you're essentially leverage 1:10. Leverage is basically like putting a small amount of capital to gain exposure to larger amount of capital. So that's it. So let's say what
Mm,
happened is, in the margin trading, let's say AMD went from, like, you're unlucky, AMD went from $100 to $90, which is a 10% decline in the price. Like, the thing is, like, if you want to invest, like, the percentage and statistics needs to be like understood thoroughly. Like, this is two are like fundamental. Like, you need to drill into your head the statistic and the percentage, all that. So let's say like the 10%. So let's say like we initially what I said, like that you have a leverage is to 1:10. So for $1 movement, you will get the exposure of 10, like $10, right? Because you bought 10 shares of uh, AMD with which is like $100, $1,000. So 10%. So 10%, like $10, 10 into what? 10. So 100, you literally lose all of your money just by like 10. And then AMD could go up
mm.
and you lost all your money. So that's the thing called margin call. I mean, like, there is a movie about like the margin call, like it's a famous movie. So people who like trade in margin, like that's like the nemesis. So yeah,
Oh
moving on.
yeah. Yeah, okay. Moving on, yes. What's your max profit and loss in your portfolio?
I don't wanna like disclose that, but like it's what I could say is like it's huge. Both, like, I lost quite a bit of money and won. Well, right now, like, I'm winning kinda, but yeah, it's like above seven figure technically, like in BDT obviously.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. Okay. Um, um, like if someone wants to learn stock and trading, is there any way for them to learn before before getting to the real stuff, learn
Of course,
without losing any money?
yeah, of course, there is a thing called demo trading. Like, lots of platform. For example, the most famous website is TradingView. You guys should go there. Just go there, tradingview.com. Like, that's the most, like, everybody uses it. So you could technically open an account and you know like think around and like use that platform to like know what the hell are you doing. So don't ever pay for like a stock, like the stock market and the like trading thing and the investment thing is a study of their own. Like, if you have millions of dollars, like, you don't bother, you just invest in like an index, S&P 500 index, like Vanguard, SPY is the ETF. Oh, like ETF, there is another one. So you just invest in there and like let's say 10%. What's the 10% for 1 million? $10,000. You just collect 10% every year. Or like there are dividend basically, like they give you a small percentage of money in return to holding a stock, so you can collect dividends. So but for most people, like, they need to start it because like they don't have enough money. So in that case, like, you could go to like TradingView, and there are YouTube and like lots of, I mean, you have like, the thing is, there is no guidebook, like actual guidebook here for each people. Like, that journey will be different. So like nobody can give you an like a actual like guidebook on how to do all of this shit. Like, you have to figure it out yourself. Like, like right now, obviously, in 2024, 2025, there are lots of like guides and tutorials, and lots of people are doing it. But like back in 2020, it's like you're on your own in this sea of
Yeah,
like information.
that was a different stuff. Yeah, like back those days, yeah, the internet wasn't that and there wasn't a lot of resource that are now premium are so like back in the days those premium resources are like nothing to the free resource that we get on YouTube today.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And obviously retail trading, the barrier to entry, like the thing is, like, technically, like, investing is a skill issue in 2024. Like, back in the days, like, there is no such thing as margin trading. People who didn't have like less than 10 lakh taka, they couldn't even invest, because like the broker has like the minimum of 10 lakh taka, because they collected huge commission. For example, Wall Street, like Wolf of the Wall Street movie, like the Jordan Belfort guy. What did he used to do? Like call like the broker customer, like the customer. They called him and he bought the stock for him, and he took a huge amount of commission. Like most of the time, like in the investing world, the real winners are the brokers and the technological team that's supporting the broker and those kind of stuff. More like almost like 1 to 5% of the like people who invest like via retail actually makes money in the long term. So yeah, but now obviously it's a skill issue. There are lots of websites. It's called like a prop firm. Like the prop firm industry has been booming after 2022, and like I use prop firm, like technically, like frankly speaking, lots of people use like prop firm, but I wouldn't recommend it. Like I would say like uh study it like for like 2 years, then go for it, like in trading. But obviously, I wouldn't say like trade. So the barrier to entry is so low. You could become you are homeless, but you can technically invest in the stock market, like in on paper.
Yeah, makes sense. Peter asked some questions in chat. He asks is can as a Bengali can we spend invest in S&P 500 without being a US citizen? So I think he can, right? He can from the Paperstone and XTB, like you mentioned at the beginning.
Yeah, for CFD investment. But for example, what like is it the question of Peter? Like how can a Bangladeshi invest in?
Yeah,
Uh,
S&P 500. Yes.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
uh, you could like for example like there is a thing called SPY ETF or QQQ ETF. Like those are ETF. Those are the things that like tracks the S&P 500. S&P 500 is a basket of like stocks that tracks the like all of the aggregate. Like at the beginning of the I told like how this S&P 500 works. Like there is a broker called Interactive Broker or TD Ameritrade. Like especially Interactive Broker. You open an account. You open a W8 bank account and uh you fill up the form. You have a 18 account. Sorry, 18. I like for tax purpose, and you open a wise account. uh, you buy dollar if anybody is willing to give it to you. I don't think like you can buy much like too much amount of dollar, because like don't most people wouldn't recommend a transaction of $10,000, more than $10,000 with a stranger. So uh, that's the thing, and
Sorry,
that's how
sorry.
you
Did
can.
you say interactive brokers?
Yeah.
All right. So is there okay, does it have to be, do we have to send the money through Wise? What if we have our own dual currency card and we purchase whatever is necessary?
No, like they will obviously stop you. Like Bangladeshi, like they won't let you do that. So there is just wire transfer. Like the interactive broker themselves won't accept anything other than like bank wire transfer. So if any bank is willing to like convert dollar, like I don't think like any bank, like since
Would
we
it?
are normal people, unless we are political, like people influence, like the bank won't do like foreign investment for us. So if you can do that, like for
What?
example, Western Union, they actually have like wire transfer for students, but that's for studying. Like if they say like I want to invest in like Apple, like you will explain it to the bank, like they won't do that probably. So that's what I'm saying.
Right, right. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. But one more question. So the source account, does it have to be in the name of the user in this platform? So interactive brokers, if I have an account, let's say my account name is Peter, but then I'm
Mhm,
transferring the money from a person named, let's say, Gavin. I'm sending it from
mhm,
his account. He's in the, let's say he's in the United States. Will this
mhm.
platform allow me? So if I can,
Um,
like, yeah,
Most
does the
probably not.
account have to be in the same name?
Most probably not. Like I think I forgot. Like I have to check the FAQ of Interactive Broker. You could check out the FAQ of Interactive Broker. Like that's interactive. Like there is a subreddit of Interactive Brokers. So like if you use Reddit, so like that's like Interactive Broker allows other people wire transfer. Most probably not. Like from what I understand, since you are doing KYC, like your money has to come from your own bank account, like the name, like the bank
Mhm.
account, like has to hold your name. So
Right.
technically,
For
that's
the
so
dividend,
if that's
for the dividend
possible,
to come
that's
back
amazing.
in.
Like if that's possible, like you can do that. But from what I understand, most probably not.
Fair enough. All right, cool. You actually said you do options trading or futures trading, right?
No, I don't do options trading. Like American option is like the most terrible thing in the world. But yeah, I know how to trade options because like one of my friend actually did that. Like I gave him the worst idea, like hey, try option, and yeah. So I know a lot
Um,
things like
so
two or things about options.
you actually do options or futures trading.
I do like futures trading and like forex trading mostly.
So you actually do futures in Forex. So you only do Forex, but you do it with leverage and stuff, right?
Yeah, leverage and stuff, and prop farm. Like this is a huge industry. For example, if you guys remember, like again, I'm addressing that. There is a company in Bangladesh called Next Venture, right? Like they brought
Right.
Amy Martinez in Bangladesh. So, like they are a shell company of a prop firm called Funded Next. It's a Bangladeshi company. The guy, he's from North South. Like they basically banned all of the Bangladeshi people because he does not want to get scrutinized over or like screwed over by Bangladeshi people's complaint, like if they lose money. So because most people lose money, like the thing is like the whole trading industry is based on losing traders, just like the whole gambling industry, like based on the losing gamblers. Just some people make money. But like if you're an investment is legit. Again, I'm saying like don't get the wrong idea. Like investment is a legit thing, but trading you
Yeah,
could become a millionaire, but it's a huge if, or could,
yeah,
or
yeah. But
would.
okay, cool. Let's say we do try this day trading. What is your recommendation for a good take profit to stop loss ratio?
Bro, like that's like a so subjective question. It's like different. Like the thing is like the whole market is objective, and millions of algorithm and people are like participating in it. And each people thinks different way. They get like, for example, like let's say I can invest like 1 hour a day in the market. Some people can invest 2 hours, some people cannot even 1 second, because that's why they invest. So it depends, like, but for most the part, like people say 1:2 or 1:3 risk to reward ratio is the best, because like in terms of trading, like, but that's not it. Like there is no straightforward answer for trading in anything. I cannot give you that.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So that's actually, yeah, thanks for that information. By the way, so if we asked you what are the three golden rules for you if you were trading, when you trade, what are the three golden rules that you follow?
Hmm.
for
Never
your
get
trade?
like don't get emotionally attached to trading. Don't care about the money, and don't ever like risk too much. So that's it.
Thank you.
I mean,
Yeah, thanks a
mhm.
lot.
you,
Yeah,
you
I had
you
to punch in. I asked my questions. I'm good to go. Thanks a lot, man.
Yeah. So you kind of have to be
Uh,
nihilistic. Like if you're a trader, you need to be nihilistic. Like because like the money you're making can go away. Like always have this idea of like this money is just a bonus. Like always have a job. Like for example, like you could like for example, lots of traders has like primary job, like they trade on the side just for like if this money goes away, nothing is gonna happen, my life is going to change. So I'm just trading for the sake of trading, not for the sake of living. So like that's the most important part. Lots of people have like emotional attachment because like they invest a lot of money, and it's a thing called sunk cost fallacy. Let's say you lost like 15 lakh taka on like trading or investment. So what you're gonna say, I need to make it back. Like I have like lots of debt and stuff. So it's a thing called sunk cost fallacy. So like you go into at that point your brain is not braining. Like it's a Gen Z term. Like you're like out of your mind, and you're like a lizard brain with a like illogical person, and you go into the hole even more. So never make that mistake. Like if you lose, cut your losses. Like cut your losses is another goal. Like whatever happened, and I'm just going to move on. And don't ever trade again. Like do not trade. Like yeah, people make money, but most people lose money, and people who make money at the end of the day, they actually don't cash out. Like the thing is, like let me give you the psychology. like you make like let's say 15 lakh taka, and what you'll say, hey, 15 lakh taka, 15 lakh taka more to trade, not like I have 15 lakh taka. Technically, like that's how it goes. Like, so you can never cash out on trading. You just trade more or stuff. So always go for the long term investment.
Nice. All right.
Right. So I had a question, if it's okay to ask.
Okay.
Right. So Hadron, thank you for being with us today. Mainly, I had just one question. So I joined at like 11:32. So I apologize if the questions could they like. There's a chance these could be repetitive. So basically, what are your thoughts on trading bots, or there are separate plugins for MT4 or MT5 that provide you with
Mhm.
signals and stuff. So like, do you use them? Are they effective, or are they just pure
Absolutely.
scams?
Like for example, like for some people, like what you're saying, expert advisory. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Like yeah, MT4, MT5 bot. Like of course I know them. What they do is like it's basically automating uh technical analysis, right? Like moving average, crossover, Bollinger Band, or like whatever, like trend line, those kind of stuff. What they do, again, like if it works for you, it works for you, but it works in the back test. Like in the real market, I have never seen any actual bot. Yeah, for example, for most of us, we do discretionary trading. Discretionary trading is like a driving or swimming. Like for example, Messi, like Lionel Messi can be my teacher, but I will never ever be on the same level of, like, if he can teach me 24/7. But there is a thing called instinctual training. Like he can, it's like for him it's instinct. Like he cannot explain how he does the thing he does, like how he dribbles and stuff. Like I could like watch him 24/7 and learn from him, but those are the things. So like for most people, discretionary trading is like that. So if it's possible to program this kind of like human behavior, so it's, but like for like what you're saying, like trading bots like follow really very very like small set of rules. If this does that, if this that, buy, if this that, like sell. So most of the time, like I wouldn't recommend like actual trading, but like you could back test it. Like back testing is not the proof of, like it's gonna be successful in the forward or real market most of the time. But most people, like let's say, like let's be real here, if somebody has a cheat code to make millions of dollars for trading, but why would he sell it to you for like $10? Come on now. Like that's the same thing for like all the Ponzi scheme. Why would MTFE or a guy, random guy from the internet, will ask you for like, hey, give me like 10,000, I'm going to like like double it. Like why would he do that? Like come on. Like sometimes like some people like in the investing world can be so dumb. Like why would he like beg it to you? He will go to the hedge fund, he will go to the big banks to pitch his idea. Why would he go on the random Discord server and say, hey, give me money, I will double it? Like, hey dude, like if you are like that good, like do it with your own money, or like go to the banks, they will give you like millions of dollars, they are waiting for you. So yeah, so trading bot can work, but I wouldn't recommend it.
I see. So one follow-up question, since you mentioned about technical analysis. So
Yeah.
I dabbled in trading like a few years ago, and I was really confused when I started technical analysis, because there are
Mhm.
so many indicators and so many things we have to learn about. So do you
Yeah.
have like a process of choosing what indicators to use, or like how do you
Uh,
filter?
no, I don't like it. Basically, like I don't use technical. I used to do technical analysis, and it's like for me, it's like a bambo jumbo, like jargon, like literally nothing. It tells you something what happened in the past. Like you could, draw a lines of astrology. Like there is a term of meme. Like technical analysis is astrology for man. Like for astro, like what is for a woman, right? Like zodiac sign. Hey, if today is like Amavasya Rat, Apple stock is going to go down. Like technical analysis is just that. So I approach it that way. Uh, Again, technical
I
analysis
see.
can work, but like
Yeah.
main thing is risk management, and like at the end of the day, like market is random in the short term. Like you never know. Nobody's going to know what the stock is going to go up, down, or sideways, or in the fucking circle. It's a line from, uh, Wolf of the Wall Street. So, like the thing is probability. Like over time, what you have to like. What's the idea of trading? Like over time, you win more money than you lose. That's the idea. That's it. Like that's the most like easiest concept, but one of the most hardest thing to master. Like trading is really easy. Like it will take you 1 week to understand everything, but it will take you like decades to decades to know what the fuck are you doing. Almost for some people, like 4 or 5 years. It's just like it's like another degree. I would like recommend go to neurosurgeon or become a rocket scientist than like actual day trade and navigate like this kind of stuff. Okay.
I see, man. Thank you so much. Those were all of my questions.
Yeah, again, I'm not bashing technical. Obviously lots of people are doing, like for example in trading view, like pine editor, you could use pine editor to like head and shoulder pattern, like moving average crossover and Bollinger Band, ATR, average true range. There are lots of things like it. Like the thing is like trading, like technical analysis will give you a frame of reference. Like you'll have this idea of like, hey, I'm in control. I think I'm smart. Like I could outsmart the market over time, but that's like a mirage sometimes. So like if technical analysis gives you that comfort of control, go for it. But like I don't do it. Like lots of people again, like different people have different way of approach trading. So since I cannot invest too much time into trading, so I don't do technical analysis. But it's possible. Again, fundamental analysis is also possible. So that's another thing.
Yep, and I think,
What?
yeah, prisoner, go
Yeah,
on, please.
finish it. Go on, go on. Like
Yeah,
prisoner.
I was going to say, what about like business analysis? Like, if AI is going up and people need more graphics card for AI, so um, Nvidia's stock is will go up. Like, what about that? Like, if the world is moving in a different direction, and you can see that company might go up.
I mean, there is no correlation to that. For example, like there is a like proverb, like during gold rush, shells shovels. Like who's the real winner of like AI? Like the companies that are selling the dream of like the AI, and the companies that are like selling the infrastructure of AI. The AI infrastructure is totally like dominated by Nvidia, TSMC, and AMD. So they're the true winner. They don't care who's going to win, like Microsoft, Apple, who they don't care. Like true winners are like the people who have monopoly over the infrastructure. So that happened back in 2000, like financial, no, 2000, like 90, like 2000s, dot-com bubble. Like there is a company called Cisco. Like I think we lots of us have that like Wi-Fi router of Cisco. Like they used to sell the infrastructure of internet. So they were the real winner of dot-com bubble. 99% of the companies went bust during the dot-com bubble. So only Amazon went down by 95% during the dot-com bubble, but they somehow survived. Netflix went down by like 90%. So some companies will obviously like can be winner, but we don't know. Like it's like again picking the lottery, like who's going to win. But already the winner is we know, like companies that are building the infrastructure, MicroStrategy, Qualcomm, Nvidia, AMD, those kind of companies. Yeah.
I see. That was, yeah. I mean, yeah, that does make sense. We don't know what bubble we are in right now. Maybe the AI bubble will burst like after 1 week or something, and yeah, everything will. Yeah,
I mean, we don't
yeah.
know. Like again, like since Trump is in office, like they are going to lower the interest rate, and Trump really loves like lower interest rate. So we could see like every like companies like go up. Some companies will go bust because like most of the like AI companies are like just mambo jumbo. They don't know what they're doing. They are just there to make money. So only some companies can be winner. We don't know which companies are. Like there could be another next Nvidia in the stock market right now, but we don't know that. Like we don't know that.
Yeah, I guess everyone is done with questions. I think no one have any questions anymore. So thank you, everyone, for being with us. Thank you for sharing the insights and knowledge. Um, thank you for your time and everything. We really enjoyed your company, man. And I hope we can have you another day.
Okay, thank you everybody for listening to me. Babbling for almost 1 hour. And yeah, like if anybody have questions, like they can ask. If any question, any
Yeah,
more question.
if anyone have any questions, you can ask in the chat later on. If something arises in your mind, you can just ask in the chat. Okay, now I will end this then.
Okay,
I will.
yeah.